We are raising our voices around the world today for that message to get out there and for decisions to be taken. And the darker reason we are here right now raising our voices is so they don't get the excuse years from now to say, we didn't know. We weren't aware. Nobody wanted us to do anything. Well, you know what? We are raising our voices right now to say it is time to do right by the world and take on our responsibilities as Canadians coming from every corner of the world to do right by the rest of the world. The fact of the matter is, this is an incredible country that has opened its doors to refugees and to immigrants for decades and from all over the world for centuries. But the fact of the matter is, there's only so many people we can take. It's time to take Canada over there. It's time to take us out there and say, what can we do here? We've done it well. What can we do over for decades? And over there, that's where it matters. That's why we're here, and that's what we're starting today. So raise your voices loud. Make it happen. We can together. Thank you very much.
That are going to protect civilians there? Do you trust them? I don't. So it is the same. Egyptian soldiers who kill his people will never come to protect me in Sudan. Ethiopian soldiers who kill his own people will never come to protect me. So those people come from a dictatorial system that will never be able to protect human rights from being abused in Darfur. Let us train them before sending them. And let us check them from HIV. We Darfurians, we need a healthy soldier to be there. So even if by accident attacking us or raping our daughters, that those daughters will be protected. And from Darfur, get all the greeting from Darfurian people. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, all the honest people in the world. Let us unite and let us protect the civilian everywhere, and let us say to Khartoum government, stop now, and let us say together, save Darfur now!
An awful lot of passion when it comes to this issue, and there is certainly a lot that needs to be done, and the more we're doing right now, the better. One of the things that has been done is Canadian activists for Darfur are coming together. They formed a new organization called Save Darfur Canada, which you can find at savedarfurcanada.org. We send our Canadian kids overseas to do what's right. And we weren't the biggest country out there, and we weren't super numerous. Well, that's good English. But the fact of the matter was, we were hard fighters. And we were glorious in our presence and in our sacrifice for what was right. And now it really frustrates me sometimes when we talk about the fact that we are needing to stand up for what's right, stand up against evil in the world. And we lose the stomach for it. We say, oh, the political capital isn't there. And it's a different world now. We don't have to be sacrificing tens of thousands of our young Canadians in causes. We can get around it with throwing money at a problem or sending over a few logistical support or teachers. No, there comes a time where Canadians have to stand up and say, you know what? In order to stand for what's right in the world, we're going to have to take some sacrifices, and we're going to have to push forward. But we are not afraid of that, because that is what Canada stands for, and that's where we are. So send ourselves over to Darfur. Stand up for what's right in the world. Do it whenever possible with those blue berets on. But do it.
And equipped that are conducting rape, pillage, plundering, mutilation and killing. They have an armed force that is supporting it. They have a bellicose attitude as a government towards the rest of the world, and in so doing throwing themselves at the rest of the world as they are mutilating, raping, killing and abusing 2.5 million human beings. That is what is going on now, and the next phase is if they stay in that same position of preventing even the African Union, who have shamed us, the developed world. They're there. They've taken casualties. Their diplomats are there. Their humanitarians are there. They're on the ground, limited by their government, limited by no resources because we don't give it to them, limited by no logistics so they can't even feed themselves. They're there, and they're being hung up to dry as that government continues to manipulate the world. And yet, when you mention Darfur, people talk of, we don't want Rwanda to happen again. Rwanda is watching 50,000 people walk down a road, and a young woman giving birth on this road in the mud, so weak, and as she's taking the child in her hand and trying to stand up, she falls and dies. And you have this moments-old child with thousands of people escaping and trying to survive. Who's going to take care of that child? Where is that child going to go? What happens to those children? What happens to the future of those children? We ultimately learned some lessons from Rwanda. And we said, responsibility to protect. If a nation, a government, massively abuses the human rights of its own people, if a government cannot stop the massive abuse of human rights of its own people, then it is not a right for them to expect the outside world to protect them. It is a responsibility of the outside world to protect them. We are citizens of the world. And globalism and global communication does not permit us to hide behind, I didn't know. There were more people killed, injured, internally displaced, refugeed, and raped in Darfur than the tsunami, and not a plug nickel went to Darfur. And not only that, this last Christmas time, we had all the media tell us about what happens a year after that event. And again, not one article on Darfur. And so, we can't let the media get away with solving one problem or raising one problem at a time. They have the capability of keeping the Middle East and all the other places and the Congo and Darfur in the front and center, and they have the responsibility to inform us of what's going on.